What's up, it's Cinema Shogun here, and listen, do not shoot the messenger. The Yas Queens are going to be really upset about this one. If I get taken off of YouTube today, you know why. I need you all to show your support down in the comment section, because word on the street is that Britney Spears' friends and family are trying to set up an intervention for her, because they believe that she's going to die. Now, when I say friends and family, I don't mean Jamie. I don't mean Britney's mother. I don't mean Britney's sister. I don't mean Britney's kids. Sam and I guess other people that are close to Britney are trying to set up an intervention for Britney, because things are not going good, and anyone with common sense knows that. Anyone with a shred, an ounce, a speckle of common sense knows that there has been something going on with Britney. And I cannot wait for the day where I get to look at all of these other creators, these naysayers who have been acting like everything's okay. I can't wait to look them in their faces while they try to lie about the stuff that is going on now. Because it's reaching a boiling point. And what did I tell you all in my last video? What did I tell you all? I said, get ready. It's coming. I heard rumblings of this. I didn't want to say anything, but I told you all, get ready. Something is coming. It's going to happen. Britney's going to go off the rails again. I noticed the patterns. They're always there. And it's weird because I'm not this Britney Spears superfan. People come across my channel and my videos and they think I'm this Britney Spears superfan. No, that's far from the case. I'm just someone who looked into the story because no one else was talking about it. And now everyone else is talking about it. But when I was talking about it, no one was pointing this stuff out. And I kind of got sucked in to all of this madness. And I know on the outside looking in, a lot of people don't care about this situation. And I understand why, but if you invested a little bit of your time looking into this, you would realize that there is some multi-layered craziness going on with Britney. But let's go ahead and hop into this article. Britney Spears' friends and family planned an intervention for her. I'm afraid she's going to die, they say. Britney Spears has been struggling with her mental health and substance abuse, and both problems are now dire. Enough that people closest to her planned an intervention. As one source in regular contact with Britney says, I'm afraid she's going to die. Multiple sources with direct knowledge say that people around Britney have become alarmed by her erratic, volatile behavior. We're told she's taking meds that hype her up. Our sources say she's been flying off the handle with increasing regularity, and is not taking the medications that stabilize her. Our sources say her manager rented a house in the LA area for several months, and the plan was to take an unsuspecting Britney to the house where her husband, Sam Asghari, her manager, an interventionist, and doctors would be present in an attempt to convince her she needed help. We're told Jamie Spears and Britney Spears' two sons are not involved. The plan was for the intervention to go down on Tuesday. We're told the plan was for Britney to live in the rented house for as long as 2 months while she received both medical and psychological counseling. That plan changed Tuesday. We're told Britney became somewhat aware of the plan, and for some reason it all changed, and the intervention idea was scrapped. We asked multiple people connected to Britney and Sam why the plug was pulled, given her condition, but we got no answers. Our sources say that Britney agreed to meet with a doctor. We don't know if it's a physician or a therapist. We're told Britney met with the doctor Wednesday, late afternoon, and it went well. So there you have it, people. I'm sure a lot of people won't believe this. Other people will. When I look at stories like this, I rationalize it in my mind like, does this sound believable? This sounds totally believable. Now, it could be fake. Maybe it's one big setup to make Britney look crazy, or maybe Britney's just crazy. Maybe Britney's just dealing with mental health issues. If we're to believe that that is the real Britney on Instagram, and this is the real Britney behind all of these hijinks, then there is no denying that she's definitely got some issues. So this intervention, it all kinds of lines up. It all kind of lines up with a lot of the things that we've been seeing. Think about that other house that Britney Spears randomly bought. And then a couple of months later, she's randomly selling that house. What was that house really for? Was that the intervention house? I'm going to make a whole different video about that. But from what they say, Britney got wind of what was happening, and the plans were pulled. The plans were scrapped because Britney wasn't going to knowingly go along with this. But this also lines up with what happened not too long ago at that restaurant where Britney Spears was talking gibberish and acting erratic. And listen, everyone is trying to make an excuse for Britney when it comes to that. Everyone is trying to make an excuse. Leave Britney alone. How dare someone take pictures of Britney Spears when she's walking into a restaurant full with people, sitting smack dab in the middle of the restaurant like people aren't going to look like, hey, there's Britney Spears. So all of this stuff is really weird and it's really bogus if you ask me. But that little breakdown that she had in that restaurant, and to be clear, I believe it. Once again, it's one of those situations where I have to rationalize things in my mind. Could it be something else, a setup? Yeah, it could be. But judging by Britney's actions, judging by the way she acts on Instagram and social media, it's not going to be hard for me to believe that she could have a mental breakdown in a restaurant, because I've been watching her have a mental breakdown online for like a year now. So all of these timelines, they're adding up, people. You can't deny that. The timelines are adding up. You have the breakdown inside the restaurant. You have that other house that Britney's not living in. We saw like 2 pictures over there. You know what I mean? So what's up with that other house? Like I said, you have this breakdown in the restaurant, and now we're having these reports come out that they're trying to stage an intervention. And I mean, I understand people are going to get mad about it. People are going to say, no, this is Team Con, and they're trying to do this to Britney and that to Britney, which could be the case. But we have to understand how these people are operating. When I make my content, I make it knowing that there's a faction of people who disagree with everything I say here. And they try to take me down. They try to cancel me. They try to get my channel taken off of YouTube. They try to get me deleted off of Instagram. They attack me day in and day out because they want to believe that not only is Britney in perfect mental shape, but also she's totally free and there's nothing going on. So when we have stories like this is where you gain ground with those type of people. Because those type of people have to admit that there's something here. Either you're going to admit that Britney isn't doing well mentally, or you're going to admit that maybe she isn't free and there's other people playing around with this situation. But you see, the Yas Queens, they don't want to believe either. They want to live in a picture-perfect world where Britney Spears is as free as a bird, she's the smartest person on earth, the most sane person around, and that everything she does is groundbreaking and amazing, and it's totally normal and cool and okay. So when we get to these points, this is where we gain ground on those type of people, because you have to admit to either one or two things. Either Britney isn't all the way free, there's people in her team or people around her who are manipulating her and they're making her look bad and they're trying to take control of her, or Britney Spears is not mentally okay and Britney Spears is going to be her own downfall because she's mentally spiraling out of control. One of the two has to be the answer. That's all that I'm trying to get at here, folks. This, oh, Britney Spears is okay. This is what Britney wants to do. She's free as a bird. Yeah, this is great. That's thrown out of the window. That's gone. Anybody still with that mindset, they're delusional and they're lying to you. Maybe they're getting paid off. I don't know. But in my mind, it's hard for me to believe that a grown adult, especially someone in this YouTube space, because we kind of do this stuff for a living. You know, you kind of have to form opinions for a living. And if a grown adult can look at what Britney's doing and say, leave her alone, blah, 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 like, shut up. Shut up. You are dishonest. You are disingenuous. And I would assume that's why some people would probably stop watching those channels or stop flocking to those channels, because it's not authentic. No one at this point can authentically say that Britney Spears is living her best life. It's a lie. It's fake. It's totally fake. So we can now throw that out the window. And it's up for people to decide. Do you think this is Britney Spears herself going crazy, or do you think there's a team around her that is making this situation worse than what it is? In my opinion, I'm leaning more towards Britney Spears is having mental health issues. Britney Spears is going off the deep end, but she also has a team and people around her that know she's going off the deep end, so they play into it. It makes Britney more money. It gets Britney more attention. They play into it, and they use it for their own personal gains. That's what I think is happening here. I think two things can be true at once. Britney Spears could be in a bad shape mentally, and Britney Spears could still have people taking advantage of her. And if Britney Spears still has people taking advantage of her, then of course that would put her in a bad place mentally. And if Britney Spears is in a bad place mentally, that makes it easier for people to take advantage of her. It all comes together. When you actually try to rationalize and really think about these things, everything comes together and it meshes together perfectly. You know what doesn't fit into the equation? Oh, Britney Spears is free and this is great. Hey, yeah. Spread her butt cheeks on Instagram. Great, yeah. Oh, yeah, these outfits look great. Yeah, that singing sounds great. Yeah. All of that, it's not helping anything. It's not helping anything. I understand being positive, but you got to throw that stuff out the window, y'all. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. And I told you it was a wrap months ago. And then when that thing happened at that restaurant the other day, that was a wrap. And now this is a wrap. We got Sam and her team out here trying to start an intervention. They're renting new houses to take Britney to, where there's going to be doctors and psychiatrists waiting for her. What in the heck is really going on? Now, if you read this and you see this, then of course, this is going to make people go wild. People are going to have a lot of theories about this one, and I understand why. Because it kind of looks like you're taking Britney, who's supposed to be free, and you're locking her in a house for a couple of months with doctors and psychiatrists, and it looks like we're back to square one again, right? Does it not look like we're back to square one again? If something happens to Britney, do you think that some of these people are accountable for that? I know they aren't accountable in the court of law, but if Britney were to die tomorrow, would you look at some of these channels who have defended her actions and who have been like, yes, Queen, oh my God, Britney's great. Would you look at those channels like, hey, y'all are kind of somewhat responsible for her downward spiral? Because I will. I definitely will. But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. While you're down there, hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.